G'day throttlers, welcome to the channel again today. Today you join me at Triumph Motorcycles in Sydney in Tempe, and today I'm taking this Speed Twin out for a ride. Now the Speed Twin is one of the latest Triumph models that are out. It's based on the Bonneville styling, I guess you could say. We're running a 1200cc engine in this now, and I'm really excited because it looks like an absolute ripper, and with that 1200cc power plant that's very similar tuned to the Thruxton R, very exciting. It's a bit of a gloomy day today. The roads are a little bit wet. I'm not going to be able to go very hard at all, not that I ever do, but we'll just have a nice little urban ride on the Speed Twin this afternoon and have a talk about it, and I'll let you know what I think. Anyway, come along for the Triumph Speed Twin 1200cc review. Right, throttlers, here we are on the 2019 Triumph Speed Twin 1200cc naked bike. Now let's just jump off it, have a quick look from a distance. I'll do a walk around a bit later, but there we go. There she is, the Triumph Speed Twin at 1200. Now this is obviously based around the Bonneville platform, but it's got the 1200cc engine in it from the Thruxton R, and to me, I absolutely love it. This is like my perfect style of bike, hence the fact that I bought something similar from a different brand. But this is the perfect styling for a motorcycle, in my opinion. But with enough modern little aspects to add to it as well. So let's jump on it and go for a ride. Now, if you're able to hear the sound of this when it starts, it does sound just a little bit better than stock because it's got some Vance Hines pipes on it. It sounds amazing, but although I haven't heard the stock pipes, I'm assuming that these Vance Hines do sound a bit better than stock. So it might be one of the first little investments that you'll do on a bike, as to be honest, all of us do. The first thing we do with most motorbikes is put a set of nicer sounding exhaust on it, and go from there. Alright, let's fire it up. Stands up, clutch is in. The Triumphs need the clutch in. It won't start without the clutch in. So clutch in, let's start it. Oh, she sounds nice. Such a beautiful little rumble to it. That parallel twin that Triumph is famous for is just absolutely beautiful. Alright, let's take this little baby for a spin. Now essentially most of today's review will be ridden on urban streets. Now Triumph Sydney, where we picked up this bike from, is based in Tempe, which is kind of an inner city, inner west location in Sydney, Australia. And we don't have access to high-speed highways in a close vicinity in this area, but we still have some great little roads. And I guess in general, obviously I'm generalising here, but in general, the person wanting to buy a Triumph Speed Twin is more than likely just someone that's going to be riding within urban areas, some highway driving, probably not doing serious touring, although I think it would it would handle it quite easily. I've been on the bike now for the best part of an hour or so, and I can attest that it's an absolute cracker of a bike. Now, not knowing if you can hear the exhaust on the microphone at all, but this demo model has got a Vance Hines set of pipes on it, so I believe it would probably sound a little bit better here than a stock one if you were to buy one. So I'm thinking that the first thing you'd buy would be a set of pipes. As well, to be honest, most of us put pipes on our bikes as soon as we buy them. We buy something that sounds a little bit more pleasing to our own ears, and we're all a little bit different regarding that. And to be honest, we all like just a little bit more sound, just for safety if nothing else. The turning on this Speed Twin is absolutely beautiful. This bike has got a compact little stance. You'll see from the photos it's a real compact little bike, but to have that and also the 1200cc engine in it is a really good combination. Now we're tucking around some little urban streets today. Triumph Sydney is located in the inner west of Sydney, which is a very urban, densely populated area. So we're cruising around these streets. We'll get a bit of time on a highway as well. But it's a very, very nimble bike. Very nimble bike indeed. Now I think the dry weight of this bike is 196 kilograms. So it's not a lightweight bike, but when you're operating it, it really doesn't feel heavy. It feels so nimble. Let's squeeze past this little car. And it's just a real solid little performer. Now obviously in urban areas, I'm not going anywhere near the potential that this bike has, but it feels like it's got untapped power. It just feels like I'm in fourth gear rolling on, and plenty of torque, no problems at all. It's a really, really good little bike. Oh, that exhaust sounds really nice. It's just throbbing away. It's popping when you're downshifting. Really, really nice sounding exhaust. Oh yeah. All right. The left. Alright, the joys of living under the flight path. The jet going over. Alright, we're doing the walk around now of the Triumph Speed Twin. As you can see, it's a beautiful classic styled bike, a modern classic, with all of the modern things you'd need on it. Let's start at the front and work our way back. Here's the headlight structure. We've got some LED daylights in there as well as a normal light. Brembo twin discs on the front, Brembo on both sides. A great asset to have on your bike. Brembo are one of the best brake makers in the world at this stage. Coming down the side, typical styled Triumph fuel tank, 16.5 litres with a lockable fuel tank lid. Coming down the side again, now we're running Vance Hines pipes on here. Now this is not a stock pipe, this is a pipe that is added on to the demo models, but it will also need it to be added on if you want to get this beautiful sound out of your bike when you buy it too. Nice speed twin, brushed metal logo. Coming around the back, nice 2-up seat. And for a stock bike, it's actually got quite a tidy little rear end. I would probably remove this, bring the number plate up under here with a tail tidy, and it'll just give the bike just a little bit better lines. But considering it's straight out of the factory looking like this, I think it looks pretty bloody good. This mudguard being nice and short, and I think it's a bit of a customizer's delight, but it looks good even straight out of the box as well. Got the horn tucked away up in here. Nice Triumph labelled spark plug covers. Headers coming down through here, and obviously the cooling system underneath the front of the bike here. So there's a walk around of the Triumph Speed Twin. Let's jump back on and have a little bit more fun. Alright, so now we're just about to go out onto Foreshore Road. Hopefully get out of the traffic a little bit, but let's talk about the ergonomics of this bike. It's super comfortable. We're almost sitting vertically. It's a very upright positioned seating bike. Just exactly like the old Bonnevilles, the new Street Twins, just with a 1200cc donk in it. Now the power output is crazy. I think from memory it's 96 horsepower, 76 kilowatts at 7,000 odd revs, 7,650 odd revs maybe. And I'm trying to think of, was it 113 kilowatts at around about 4,000 RPM. Either way, whether I'm right or wrong, it'll be on the screen right now. Just so for those of you that are really interested in the specs and the power outputs on a piece of paper. Personally, I've learnt from riding thousands of motorbikes that what is written on paper doesn't necessarily correspond to the feeling that you get when you're riding the bike. I've ridden some very, very high powered bikes that I was quite unimpressed with, and I've ridden some very low powered bikes that have really excited me in rideability. Alright folks, we're cruising along now at highway speed. Very, very comfortable indeed. The only wind that I'm feeling is the normal wind that would be created at this speed. I'm not getting any buffering off the bike at all. 6th gear, we're running at about, 3,000 revs, just cruising along nicely and gently. 6th gear wind on, very easy. Really beautiful indeed. Now I may have said earlier in the video that this isn't a touring bike, and it's not, but with the power output, the comfortability of the bike, this is something you could certainly do many, many, many kilometres on and not have any troubles at all. Alright, many of my subscribers have been asking me to review the Speed Twin, but in particular they wanted to know what I thought about the differences of the Z900 RS from Kawasaki between the Speed Twin of Triumph. And while we're sitting here at these lights, let's have a chat about it. Pull my visor up so I can breathe. Alright, now remembering that this is a personal opinion of mine, but I want to be as objective as possible because I love both bikes. Now, I believe that both bikes are equally comfortable. Both bikes have a very, very similar seating position. Both bikes are sort of aimed at a similar market. The differences between them are the style of engine and the power output of the engine. So, the Z900 RS has the 4-cylinder 900cc engine, 948cc engine. This has a parallel twin 1200cc engine. Now, I think from memory the Kawasaki has more power. My personal opinion is, it literally comes down to, do you like an inline 4 or do you like a twin cylinder engine? That's literally all it comes down to in my opinion. I think the Kawasaki is probably a bit more aggressive. If you're a real a track rider, you love track a lot. If you're getting into the twisties and want to get in real hard, I think the Kawasaki is what you're after. My personal opinion, I love a twin cylinder engine. I love the parallel twins of the Triumphs and the new Royal Enfields. I love the V-twins of the Harley Davidson brands as well. So I would personally go towards the Speed Twin just because it's a twin. For no other reason. Build quality seems to be exactly the same between the Triumph and the Kawasaki. Body position is the same. Performances would be pretty bloody close to being the same. It just comes down to that engine, and for me, that twin, the feeling of a twin cylinder engine just makes me happy. Just the sound, the feeling, I just prefer it over an inline 4. That's the only difference. So for those of you who have been asking about the comparison, that's your answer, I'm afraid. It comes down to, do you like an inline 4, do you like a twin? And go down to your local dealer and test ride either one of these to make your decision, because they're both amazing bikes. You can't go wrong with either of them. Alright, wrapping up the review of the Triumph Speed Twin. We're down here at Port Botany. We're just about to take the bike back to Tempe, give it back to its rightful owners, as I may have just mentioned. But what can I say about the Speed Twin, other than the fact it's perfect for so many uses. So great daily riding bike. It's a good commuting bike. It's nimble, it's upright. Your handlebars have a nice position to be ripping through traffic, no problems at all. It's powerful enough to take on long journeys and comfortable enough to take on long journeys. You can punch out hundreds of kilometers in a day on this and have no problems at all. It's nimble enough to carve through the canyons and the twisties on a country road, and to also take onto the track and have a bit of fun with. It pretty much ticks all the boxes. It looks angry and muscular without losing style and class. And I think it does that really well as well. Look, if you're interested in the Triumph Street Twin and you're in Sydney, contact Triumph Sydney, book in a test ride. I think you'll love it. I love it. I think it's an absolutely amazing bike. Test it alongside if the 1200cc is a little bit big for you, test it alongside the Street Twin, which is an 800cc bike, and see which one you prefer the best. Anyway guys, until the next video, throttle on, subscribe, like, and we'll chat to you soon.